What are we doing on Friday night, baby? I'll tell you what we're doing. Are we out with the ladies? Ain't nobody got time for that. We got DeFi Kingdoms Alpha to talk about here, baby. Yeah. Okay. More things. All kinds of things we could talk about. We could go on for hours. Try not to make them too long. Okay. There's a few more things I wanted to follow up on the video from earlier. You know, one thing to follow up on too is I got a call back from the principal, my kiddos. My kid's principal called me back. She said, you know, she thought it was a little inappropriate that I showed up there at school, telling them they need to get rid of all their curriculum, get it out of there, talk DeFi Kingdoms, baby, economics, all kind. This is real world use case right here, right? So, you know, she wasn't happy, so I told her, you know, we got to teach them while they're young. We got to real world use case type things. Here, DeFi Kingdoms, baby. This is the real world. They're not in, you know, learning some things in books that they'll never use in the real world. DeFi Kingdoms. This is real world right here. She just wouldn't have it. Maybe she'll come around though. We'll stay on her. Stay on that principle. We gotta talk about the more important things in life, baby. DeFi Kingdoms. This is where it's at, right here. My kids, you know, they try to approach the principal too. They're like, hey, what's up? We gotta learn DeFi Kingdoms. The kids gotta learn these things. Not be wasting their time with math, you know, science, history. What do you get out of that? Get all kinds of things here out of DeFi Kingdoms. Ragweed, you know, I was trying to tell her about ragweed and bloaterfish, economics in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at right here. Okay, we'll keep working on that. I'll keep you updated. Okay, let's talk more things. Talk more on these tools, more things I wanted to cover earlier, didn't get to. These videos go for freaking ever. It's the time warp here. Crypto Grady on the time warp. Okay, leveling. All right, let's talk some leveling. All right, I'll get myself kind of out of the way here. A little bit too in the way. Let's get this thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right, there we are. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Let's see, do we have anybody to level? Okay, we've got a wizard. So kind of what I'm doing here. So wizard, it's a mix between PvP and profession. So I keep making the argument, I think we need to be focusing on profession at the early stages of the hero's life. In the same way we want, is if you've seen previous videos, if you haven't, you might want to see some of those where I talk on leveling, different things. If they get vitality in the early stages of their life, if you look at how vitality impacts HP, hit points, their HP. Okay, so when you flip the card, you see the front, down here, that's health, HP. On this side, it's mana, okay? So this guy's just level 1. He's got 100 health, 100 HP, 75 mana. So we know that with HP, that's gonna be good for all heroes, regardless, okay? Regardless of who the hero is. Vitality is good for all heroes. And the more vitality you have, especially in the early stages of the hero's life, that means it's a direct reflection of how fast they're going to gain health or HP hit points as they level up. It's an algorithm. There's 3, you know, it's a roll. You either get you hit on the small side of HP, I think it's 10 HP, 20, or 30. Plus, it's also based off how much vitality you have. So if you have lots of vitality, you're going to get quite a bit more HP as you level up your heroes. Okay, also with mana. Mana is also good for all heroes, but mana is especially good for your heroes who are good with intelligence and wisdom. Okay, because mana, it has a lot to do with magic. Magic moves for PvP. We're talking PvP here. This stuff doesn't matter at all on questing. We don't even know really how it's going to shake out for PvP. Okay, but we know, you know, we could go back over it. I could show you the docs. Already done it so many times. But it's going to be basically all heroes. It's like how durable you are with HP, how much damage you can take in PvP. So that's why vitality is good for everyone. Mana points also good for everyone, but it's especially good for your magic using heroes, wizards, priests, sage, seers, summoners. Those 5, especially those 5. Now, you have other heroes like Paladin who's good with wisdom, and the Dark Knight's good with intelligence. How's that going to shake out? Okay, it also, like magic evasion, magic defense, okay, which I think will be good for your warriors type guys. But it's especially good for your magic users. And mana is the exact same way it's leveled up as with vitality at just a lesser level. So you're always gonna have less mana than HP. So you have a roll of 1 of 3. You either get your higher amount of mana, could be 2, 5, or 9, I think. Okay, plus it's another based off how much first intelligence you have is the weightier factor when it comes to mana points. And so first it looks at intelligence, and then also it looks at wisdom. They're both significant when it comes to how your mana points level up, but especially the intelligence. Okay, it's like a math equation, and it adds in how much. It does the 3 rolls for all heroes, even if you have 0. Obviously, no one has 0 intelligence and wisdom, but you get 2, 5, or 9 mana points every time you level up, plus, based off how much intelligence and wisdom you have, okay, that's going to matter a lot. Okay, so with a wizard, priest, sage, summoner, seer, I am especially focusing on mana, so wisdom or intelligence primarily, but also wisdom. Okay, now that's why if they're gardening, they're gardeners, those are all the best gardeners, all those that I just mentioned. So gardening is ideal for your wizard, priest, sage, seer, summoner. Because so if it's any of those 5, you're doing wisdom or gardener primary. Secondarily, you're doing vitality and intelligence. That's what I'm doing. So I'm throwing in intelligence. If it's any other hero, okay, we're going to do vitality. We're wanting to pad the vitality as much as possible. Now, like if it's a knight gardener, you're doing vitality as a guaranteed stat level up. And then wisdom, I'm doing wisdom down here, at least in the early stages of the hero's life. That way, the hero for the rest of its life will quest better, will level up faster, will have better ROI. Okay. Then, once we get more info on PvP, and they're already leveled up according to their profession, then I'll ignore the profession at that point and just focus on PvP. And that's really kind of how I'm rolling for me right now with all heroes. I know that obviously there's a bigger focus for PvP when it comes to mythic heroes, dread knights, and all your elite heroes, your sage and dragoon. Those are PvP heroes. Okay. I'm even looking at your common wizard as a potential PvP hero. Okay. So down the road. Okay. So here we have a forager. So I'm doing intelligence. I'm going to do vitality. No. This is a foraging. So intelligence, dexterity. So, and then I'm going to do wisdom instead of vitality in this case. So oftentimes vitality is a good move as well. And especially since it's a forager, it's not a bad move to be padding the vitality because you're already getting the intelligence. So actually that almost goes either way. In the case of a forager, especially, because you're already getting the intelligence. That's going to help with the mana. You could go vitality. Okay, but if it's like a miner or a fisher wizard, like in this case, right? It's a wizard. So if it's a miner or fisher, I'm ignoring vitality for those 5 heroes: priest, wizard, seer, sage, summoner. And I'm going to go intelligence instead of vitality if it's a fisher or miner. Okay. And then I want to maximize the amount of stat points I can possibly get every time I level up. So in this case, dex. Because when using crystals, I always use crystals. 10 commandments, baby. Always use crystals. They keep getting cheaper and cheaper. They're so cheap. It's awesome. So in this case, it's not ideal for a wizard, for PvP, for dex. Okay? But it's still going to help. It's definitely still going to help the hero to have dex in PvP. Maybe more than we realize. Okay, and it's for their profession. So that's a good fit. Okay, so that's good. You've got an archer subclass down here. So with the crystals, with a lesser crystal, the secondary class, it has 15% chance down here. 15% chance to a secondary stat growth roll for dex. That's what we got here. So the archer has a 20% chance to hit in the subclass rolls. It goes for every single stat. And notice how it's not real good on wisdom, 6.25%. So, or even vitality is okay, 12.5%. But if I use a vitality crystal, that's going to up my chances from it's adding 15% to 12.5%. So that's going to be 27.5% chance that vitality hits. Okay, versus a 35% chance if I use the dex. So out of 100 level ups, okay, you're looking at 35 times that's going to hit on average. That's going to hit 35 times out of 100 versus 27. Okay, so, and what another thing we talked about that's just fascinating to consider, what are the chances out of 100 that the 27.5% chance to hit on vitality, what are the chances that only happens 20 out of 100 times? because it's a one and done each time. You roll, and you've got a 27.5% chance for vitality to hit if I use the vitality crystal here, versus a 35% chance for Dex. Okay, so if you think about it, what are the chances? I'm increasing the possibility to get a positive regression of variance when using the Dex crystal here, because when you have a 35% chance to hit on each individual roll, okay, yes, on average, that is going to be 35% of the time that's going to hit. But in this specific case, if I do this 100 times, when I'm leveling this hero, I'm always going to be using the Dex crystal, most likely, unless we get more detail on PvP, but I'll probably still be using the Dex crystal. Because what are the chances that I hit 40% of the time instead of 35? What if out of every 10 rolls, I hit 4 out of 10 instead of 3 out of 10? 3 out of 10 would be a negative regression of variance. 3 out of 10. 4 out of 10 is a positive regression of variance. Okay, so each and every time I'm rolling, I'm wanting to maximize my chances with the crystal. Now you still want to also factor in the primary growth. 5% goes to Dex up here, 35% chance. So it's actually 35% chance here, 35% chance down here. Most of the time, that's still not going to hit, even though in my personal experience, I wish I could be recording as I'm just leveling heroes up all day, all the time, baby. Okay, I feel like it almost hits 50% of the time when I'm using this crystal. It's like unbelievable how often it hits. When I'm focusing, the subclass hits so often. Now, a lot of times it doesn't hit at all. It's weird, okay? Like even some of these heroes, I've used like even greater stones where I've got like a 30% chance, and then I throw on even a regular crystal, and I've got like a 60% chance for my subclass to hit, and it won't hit. It's so funny. But then the next time I use this lesser crystal on a more common basic hero, and it hits, the subclass hits. So variance is crazy. So the higher the chance that you're giving yourself to level up will give you a better chance for a positive variance, for positive regression of variance. It will increase your chances. So for both, I mean, you're better off using this, you know, for like endurance or wisdom or intelligence, okay, or luck even, better than Dex. So in this case, so because going from 50 to 55% chance to hit, like with endurance, or from 80 to 85% chance, you're closing the gap of those times it can miss, and it will increase your chances to have a positive regression of variance. Hope that makes sense. Okay, statistics is an amazing thing, but when it comes to a coin flip, 50-50 chance, okay, you're gonna have plenty of times when you flip, okay, that you hit 6 out of 10, you hit head 6 out of 10 times. You'll have plenty of times where you also hit 4 out of 10 times. Okay, but the better the chances that you have of hitting will increase your chances to have a positive regression of variance in your favor. Okay, so let's go over the heroes. We'll just go through a bunch of heroes and how I would level them. Because with the crystal, basically almost every time I'm leveling, I'm mostly focusing on the subclass. Now I still factor the profession and I factor the primary growth as well. In this case, Dex, it's a forager, makes the most sense. Even though I'm not increasing my chances with the primary class as much as I would like, okay? Because it's just taking that from 30 to 35%. Instead of like from 60 to 65%, or from 50 to 55%, or from 70 to 75%, from 80 to 85%. That almost, you know, especially from 80 to 85% chance, it almost guarantees that you're going to hit on that for the primary growth. But you'll still miss for sure. It's like crazy. Variance is crazy. Both ways. Variance is crazy, both for positive and negative regression. Okay. If you're a poker player, you really get this. And you do tens or hundreds of thousands of hands, it's crazy. Okay, hopefully we're not fighting with the bots too much. We got these beautiful bots. Okay, Dex, look at this. Boom, boom, and boom. I cannot tell you how frequently that happens. When last video I did on this, it hit 2 times in a row. And then I ended the video and leveled up like 10 more guys. And it was like 6 or 7 of them hit, it seemed like, when they only have a 30 to 35% chance of hitting. Amazing. So in this case, boom, both hit. That crystal very well could have helped the primary, and it almost for sure helped the secondary stat. Who knows? Vitality also hit too. That's nice for a gardener. Boom. Okay, and intelligence for the forager. Dex, intelligence. Nailed it. Okay. So, home run with that crystal, right? Those stat points are a big deal. It matters a lot. Each and every extra stat point you can ever get will matter significantly over time. Absolutely significantly over time. So you just see the difference of having like 30 or 40 stat points over the course of 100 level ups is very significant. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's how I would do a wizard forager. Okay. Okay. Let's just imagine this warrior. This warrior is also a forager. Okay. So warriors are okay foragers because Dex, they're 70%. So that's good for PvP. Dex is going to be important for warriors. It's actually their second best stat growth. Okay. You got strength, Dex, and then endurance. And vitality. Or all four of those are strong with warriors. They're okay with agility at 50%. Okay. So in this case, you're obviously, for both the profession and for PvP, you're picking Dex as the primary stat growth. As the guaranteed stat point from Gaia's tiers. Okay, then I would do intelligence. Go ahead and do intelligence. Especially in this case, always doing intelligence is good for all heroes, even though it won't help the warrior nearly as much as it would a sage, seer, summoner. Okay, those heroes. But it's going to help with both the profession, especially in the early stages of that hero's life. It's going to help its mana as well. Okay, then I'm going to do vitality. So we want to hit vitality in the early stages of the hero's life. Let's say this warrior is a gardener. Let's say instead it was a gardener. Okay, I would hit vitality as the primary stat growth, guaranteed Gaia's blessing, wisdom as a secondary, and then I would go with strength, right? Because we got vitality covered, we're going to ignore intelligence because it's a warrior. Not as important to have those mana points. And you're already clicking wisdom, which will also help the mana growth. And then the next best stat for PvP is strength. Then as far as the crystal that I would use here, I would go ahead and go with the wisdom. So you got, this is a wizard subclass, okay? Okay, so wizard subclass, there's not a blue or crystal used for either wisdom or intelligence. And so because he's a gardener in that situation, I would go with a wisdom crystal, which will maximize my chances to get the secondary growth for wisdom. Okay, that makes sense. And it's his profession as well. Now, let's say this warrior was a fisher. Okay, I would do agility. Agility is the guaranteed stat growth because that's better than luck, even though I think luck and agility, I really think that luck and agility is very good for all heroes for PvP. I don't think you can go wrong with paladins and dark knights hitting luck and agility. I really don't. Agility is the only stat point that has its own potion. The heroes are going to move faster. The magic heroes, like the warrior, the wizard, those guys, a wizard, with agility, it just means they're going to be able to shoot more magic per second. Per 5 seconds of moves, they'll be able to get 3 magic moves in instead of 2. Okay, so I read that somewhere and someone shouted it out. So it is still going to affect the wizard, the priest, those guys having 40% agility, and just because they'll be able to get more magic, be able to do more moves in a period of time. It even says that on the agility potion. When all heroes, that's going to be good for all heroes. Obviously, it's going to be especially good for a ninja, for a sage, for a shapeshifter. Shapeshifters are jacked in agility. For a thief, using the agility potion will help those heroes the most in PvP, but it's still going to be great for all heroes to have it. So just imagine you have a jacked up paladin, okay, who's really hard to kill because he's got tons of vitality and mana points. Hit points. He's strong, effective hits. He has lots of endurance. He can take punishment without dying easy. Okay, and you make him fast. Woo. And he's got good luck. Okay, so same with this warrior. I'm going to go agility. If he's a fisher, I'm going to go agility as a primary stat growth. I'm going to go luck as the secondary stat growth, and then vitality to help his HP. And then as far as the crystal, I'm not going to go for wisdom, even though you could either go wisdom or intelligence, because the subclass of wizard, you're maximizing the chances of hitting that stat. Okay, now I'm going to go with intelligence because intelligence gives a little bit more weight when it comes to the mana point leveling. Okay, it's a bigger factor, and in his case, And in his primary growth, it's just bad for both as well. So let's say it was a knight on the other hand. On the other hand, let's say this wasn't a warrior, it was a knight. Okay, let's find a knight. Okay, so when we look at the knight, he's similar, fisher, as the warrior. Agility's a little bit better than luck's. He's even a worse fisher than a warrior, okay? Agility's better than luck. So I go agility as a primary if he's a fisher. I go agility, luck, vitality as the 3 stats. And then as far as the crystal goes, let's say the wizard was the secondary class. I'm gonna go with the wisdom crystal instead of the intelligence crystal, because look, this takes his wisdom from 25% to 30% instead of from 20% to 25%. So I'm just maximizing my chances on each and every single roll, okay? And for the subclass, it's the same, okay? So if it's a wizard subclass, you got 20 for wisdom, 20 for intelligence in that scenario. Now, if the blue stat is on one of them, I'm gonna pick the blue stat immediately, okay? Because it adds the 4 extra percent on the subclass, okay? And on the primary class, okay? 2% on the primary class. So I follow whatever's best on the secondary growth. If the tiebreaker is kind of what I'm talking about here. The tiebreaker, if it's a wizard subclass and it's a knight primary class and there's no blue stats with intelligence or wisdom, no stones hit on the intelligence or wisdom or anything like that when they were summoned, no guide tiers or anything like that, okay, I'm going to go for a knight, I'm going to use the wisdom crystal because the tiebreaker between wisdom and intelligence is the primary growth, going from 25 to 30%. So I'm maximizing my chances here for the best bang for the buck with that crystal. Is what I'm trying to do. Just maximum possible number of stat points. So by the time you hit level 100, okay, when you're using the crystals properly, you're gonna, have 20 extra stat points, 30 even potentially extra stat points, doing it this way. By the time they're level 100, more than you would by using the crystal on other stat points, on other chances to level. That makes sense. Okay, so I hope you followed me there. That makes sense. Let's look at the monk right here. So this monk is a fisher. So agility, the monk is 60% across the board with strength, dex, agility, and vitality. Okay, so that's good. So they're more of a balanced hero. I don't like the monks as much, but actually that might turn out being good for PvP, that they're more balanced in their stats. They're 60% with all 4 of those, and then they're also 55% with endurance and 50% with wisdom. So they're not really bad with any stats except intelligence and luck. Okay, and there's worse out there even with intelligence and luck. So in this case, this guy had a stone used for his intelligence. Okay, so if he's a fisher, I'm doing agility for his guaranteed stat point level up with Gaia's Grace. Then I'm using luck as a secondary. And I think, again, luck's gonna be good for anyone. Now, obviously it's gonna be better for the thief, who's 65%, the ninja's 60%, the pirate's 55%. Everyone else is 50% and below. Or maybe the sage, oh, okay, you got the Dread Knight is 60%, okay, is all. Like no one is super jacked on luck at all. That's what's so interesting. Okay, so fascinating how they developed this game. Okay, so we're imagining that this monk right here is a, he's a fisher. In this case, agility primary. Luck for the 50-50 roll, and then the other 50-50 roll, vitality. Okay, now what crystal do I use? So you look through here, okay, and this is a priest subclass, but there was a stone used, an intelligence stone was used, or a chaos stone that hit on intelligence. So when you look down here, normally the priest best is wisdom, okay, but in this case, it's better for intelligence because he's at 22.5% with intelligence. It's still not ideal for given that it's a monk. It's like his worst stat. It's his worst thing as far as PvP probably is going to go. But especially in the early stages of the hero's life, I'm using an intelligence crystal because it's also going to help him with his MP, which will still help. It'll definitely help the monk because the monk's good with wisdom, okay, and that's a factor for MP. So we want to get the vitality and intelligence in those early stages of the hero's life anyways. So that's why in this case, because it's 22.5% in the subclass, and it's an added 3% here from the stone in the primary class, so instead of 25 it's 28. So now you use an intelligence stone, now I'm getting a 33% chance in the primary growth, and I'm getting a 37.5% chance in the secondary growth. That's pretty good. To get a 37.5% chance in a secondary growth stat, that's pretty strong. Then if you even throw on a regular crystal instead, man, that's going to put you up over 52.5% chance to hit on intelligence and a 38% chance for the primary growth. Okay, that's how I'm handling that. Okay, so generally speaking, I'm always going to be, especially with intelligence, wisdom, vitality, I have different tiebreakers. The profession might matter, but the more primary thing is the tiebreakers. If it's something's tied with like vitality, for example, that's going to be for crystal, I'm going to be using vitality. If especially in this case, like if wisdom is tied with vitality in the subclass for whatever reason, could be stones or blue stats or whatever. Vitality is a tiebreaker because I want vitality, intelligence in the early stages of the hero's life, and wisdom. Okay, and also you want good profession stats in the early stages, because then that hero will level up faster, get more XP, he'll quest better in his profession. You hit it at the early stages of the hero's life. Hope that makes sense. Hope you guys are following me. Let's look at this Gen 0 Berserker. How am I going to level this guy up? He's a Fisher. Okay, because this is something that really matters. He's a legendary. Okay, he's kind of a PvP hero here. So agility is 55% for Berserker. That's not bad. We're definitely using that as a guaranteed stat. Luck, 40%. Okay, so I'm going to do that as the secondary 50-50 roll with the guy's blessing. Okay, and then I'm doing vitality. Okay, always with this. Just get lots of vitality for this Berserker. And so then by the time he hits level 100, I will have gained a lot more hit points, health points, leveling him up early with vitality. Okay, so agility, luck, and vitality. And then what crystal am I going to be using? That's an important. This guy, he's a thief subclass. Okay, that's interesting. So when you look at this, you got agility crystal. You also have dex. Dex has a 0.25% chance more. And okay, the Berserker also has a blue hit on dex, giving him a 62% chance over agility, which is 55% chance. So I could see it would make perfect sense to go either way. I mean, that's almost a tie when it comes to which crystal to use. Also, luck is good because it's a thief, but you got agility at 17.5%. So use an agility crystal on this, that'll put it up to 33.5% or 32.5% chance to level up with a lesser agility crystal. The dex also makes sense. The reason why agility especially makes sense here in this case is because he's a Fisher. So agility especially makes sense. But also for PvP, I might end up, once I get his agility jacked up, I might say, hey, man, these Berserkers are good with dex as well. So I might be using the dex crystals down the road because it has a 0.25% chance to hit, which isn't much, but hey, you never know. That matters. Could get you an extra stat point per 100 levels, or something. Okay. And it's going to help your positive regression of variance in the primary growth as well, because he's at 62%, and that's just probably going to be better for him for PvP to have more dex than it is agility, even though I think agility is still going to be great for the Berserker. So that could go either way. But at first, early stages of the hero's life, I'll probably be using an agility crystal for this Gen 0 legendary baby Berserker, because that's also awesome down here in the secondary class. Down the road, I could definitely see myself using some dex crystals as well. But in the early stage of the hero's life, I'm getting those profession stats, baby, so he can quest better and level up faster, because he gets, and it's better ROI. You get more items, potentially get more items when leveling. Then he'll level up faster down the road because you get more items, get better items potentially when you have those good stats that follow the profession. It also gives you more XP. That's why they level up faster. Okay, you guys following me here on how I'm doing this? Because there's tiebreakers, there's things you got to think about. Ultimately, though, when I'm using the crystal, I want to help maximize my chances of getting the maximum possible number of stat points. That's why Dex also makes sense here for both the primary growth and the secondary growth of this hero. So really, Dex is the way to go. But because he's a Fisher, agility also is solid. You're helping, you take your agility from 55% to 60% in the primary growth, but on the Dex, so it's at 60% for agility, but on the Dex, you go from 62 to 67%. So that 5% really helps when it goes from 62 to 67%, okay, it really helps the odds to have positive regression in your favor more than you might think. That 5% is important, especially around these numbers, okay? But so for both, it's good, but even better so on Dex. And you've got that 0.25% chance better on the secondary growth. Okay, are you following me there? I hope I'm not boring you to death All that stuff's important. Like, look at this beautiful summoner. This is a PvP hero, right? It's a fisher. Ooh, interesting, right? So I'm gonna go, especially in the early stages of the hero's life, gonna go agility, luck, and then I'm gonna go intelligence for the summoner as well, because it's 85% chance intelligence. Vitality is only a 50% chance. One of the biggest debates is how to treat a sage, because he's similar, okay? I'm going agility, luck, intelligence. Then, as far as the crystal goes, I'm gonna go with the wisdom crystal. That's gonna take its primary stat growth to 90% and its secondary stat growth, because this is a priest subclass, I already know based off the stats, it's gonna take his secondary stat growth rate from 20 to 35%. Okay. Booyah. I love it. I love it. Okay, back to what we were talking about earlier. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to shoot. Ooh, I like this. This guy's just about to hit level 10. Love hitting those level 10s. Then you get them, you quest them with 30 stamina at that point. Okay, that'll help this profession stat. So he's at 20.4 profession stat points here. 20.4 on fishing. Okay, it's really at this point almost impossible to get any more. But occasionally you can get up to 21. Once you hit 21, it's almost impossible to get above that unless you quest them at 30 stamina or more. It's awesome. Okay, all right. So one thing I wanted to mention earlier, back to this amazing thing. I see you brilliant, genius people. Okay, we're back on Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms in the market data, which is a paid service. The paid service, you can go to your account, okay, and it's cheap. On the account, I meant to mention this too. When you click account, you come down here and you want to get the paid part. It'll give you notifications for taverns, set that up on your Discord, boom, you get notified when certain heroes are listed for sale on the tavern. Okay, I think you can have it do all kinds of things there. I'm just not looking to buy anybody, but maybe I'll do it just to play around with it and show you guys. Okay, but when you look here, if you put in, okay, this is Joule. Okay, so if you put in 30 Joule, you calculate that. 30 Joule equals $7.11. That's just 11.619 days of access. Okay, it doesn't sound like much, but look, when you add in another 0 to that and you hit calculate, then it goes to 7.32 or 23 months of access. $71 will give you over 7 months. So the scale is significant. It's based off the value of Joule, essentially. So that's why you got to hit calculate. Then you just connect your wallet and you pay it. It's easy peasy. Okay, so right now I'm guessing Joule might be down. It's a good time to go buy some Joule. I've been looking to buy some Joule on the dips. I just think Joule's gonna moon here once we get past, once more development starts happening. Okay, so it's a sliding scale. The more you put in, the more exponentially it gives you its time to be able to use the paid benefits. Okay, so, and I think it's well worth it. Okay, so back to home, you come here to market data, and Neindorf, shout out to Neindorf, baby. He just said, yeah, he added this thing, my market data. You put in your wallet. We can look at that here in a second. But I want to come back here to the DFK items. Okay, all the arbitrage that I was talking about in the earlier videos. Ooh, they've been coming back up. Ooh, yeah, ragweed, baby. Trying to explain to that principal, ragweed. We got ragweed. I mean, sell your kids, sell your organs, sell your beating heart. You get lots of money for your heart, baby. Your blood go donate some blood, baby. Blood is at a premium these days. Just give them all your blood. That blood's at a premium. Buy up some DeFi Kingdoms heroes, baby. Yeah, buy up some ragweed right now, because look what you can do. I already showed you this earlier, okay? But let's say, and you guys took my advice on that last video, because I noticed, man, stuff wasn't spiking all of a sudden. People were actually doing it. But look, there's some new ARBs opportunities. Nothing major popping here, because everybody's doing this. I think people really listen to the video, because it was a clear notice. As soon as people started listening to the video, things just stopped popping up. All right, but those opportunities still come if you don't have a life like me, sitting at home all day, baby. But if you have a job and you're too busy, you don't want to mess with this all the time, you know what you can do? Just put it in liquidity and don't worry about it. Just create liquidity and you're going to be getting all those trading fees, and it's smashing. It's doing awesome. So it's a win-win and you're helping the ecosystem. So people like me can sit at home and do all this arbitrage trading all day. You're benefiting from all the fees on all up and down arbitrage trading all day long. And the arbitrage trading is going to help the value of the items as well, like stay pegged to where they're supposed to be, so that nothing gets too out of whack. Okay, so that's the beauty of this. Options, baby. Unlike me with the ladies. With DeFi Kingdoms, you got all kinds of options, things you can do. Okay, also, when you look down here, you might notice over here, Crystal, on Crystalville, like, whoa, when you see red, that means, and I said in the last video, such an idiot, biggest idiot on the face of the earth. I literally said the opposite of what I was trying to say. So when you see red, you want to sell that item with the trader, not with the vendor. I literally said the opposite earlier. At one point I did. Oh my gosh, what are you gonna do with me? Okay, so you might think, whoa, big ARB opportunities here in Crystalville. But here's the problem with Crystalville. The gold, the value of gold is not worth as much on Crystalville as it is on Serendale. Okay, so the awesome thing about this tool, when you look at this, it also gives it to you here in Jewel. Okay, but this is more talking about its value in gold compared to the vendor. So when you see red, that means don't sell with the vendor. When you see green, that means so don't sell with the vendor. Red, sell that with the trader. You get more money. That's what red means. Okay, but the problem comparing Crystalville, Serendale, it gives you here the value in Jewel, which is awesome. 0.0082. This is red leaf. Okay, it's a sweet ARB opportunity if you're on Crystalville and you have your heroes questing as foragers and you get red leaf. Yeah, make sure you don't go to the vendor and sell that red leaf for gold. Sell that on the decks if you're in Crystalville questing foraging. Okay, but look, it's still not worth as much. Even though this is green right here, ARB opportunity, but look, in Jewel, it's 0.0082 Jewel. Over here in Jewel, it's 0.0153. Only 1 0. So it's actually worth almost double. Still, because of the gold. Even though right now is the time to buy the red leaf with the trader. Go buy up the red leaf, the trader, right now. We could do it. Should we do it? Let's go do it. Even better is a ragweed, but let's do the red leaf. Okay, here, if you are questing on Crystalville with your heroes, foraging, and you get red leaf, just make sure you don't go to the vendor and sell that red leaf for 15 gold, because you're going to get a lot more than 15 gold if you sell it with a trader. You'd get like 22 gold or something. But the gold's not worth as much on Crystalville. It will be though. It's coming. All right. So we see this green light, baby. Green light here. What that means is I can come right here, go to the trader, not the vendor, and buy some red leaf. Let's do it. And after I got off earlier, I made another like 10,000 gold just by screwing around with this. I love it. Okay, so we're at the trader. We're gonna do red leaf. We're buying red leaf. Won't be super significant. It's only like 5.5%. Okay, with gold, I'm gonna buy it with gold. You can buy it with anything, but it just helps us to see it more plainly. So one red leaf, look, I can buy it for 13.69 gold. Okay, then go sell it on the vendor for 15 gold. So if I buy 10, it should be, buying 10 red leaf should cost 150 gold, but instead it's 142.59 gold. To buy 100 red leaf should cost 1,500 gold, but instead it's costing 1,435 gold. So I'm gaining, still gaining. How are we doing down here on the price impact? Still green, we're okay. Now if we do 1,000, ooh, that's no bueno. No bueno. It's now more expensive. Okay, and I don't. Okay, that's 15,327 gold. That's because the price impact, there's not enough liquidity. Okay, but we're good at 100. How about, are we good at 200? Okay, this right here, the 200, should cost 3,000 gold. Okay, but instead it's costing 2,890 gold. So in this case, I'm gaining 110 gold. How about 300? Okay, that should cost 5,000 gold. Or no, it should cost 4,500 gold. 4,500 gold. So I'm still gaining. I'm gaining now. This is gaining 140 or 138, 137 gold. Okay, what about 400? 400 red leaf. Let's do the math. 400 times 15 is 6,000. Okay, I'm not really gaining too much there. More. I'm gaining by adding the extra 100, because at this point the price impact, the volume, so you want to be careful not to overdo it, because you're going to eat into your profits at some point. Now this isn't eating into my profits. I'm still gaining like 4 gold by adding that extra 100, so might as well do it. So I just did 400. Okay, and the price, so I'm still going to gain 161 gold now. Okay, by taking it to the vendor. So it's costing me 5,859 gold. 5,859 gold. Now, I can go sell that for 6,000. Instead of 58.60, 5,860 gold, 6,000 gold now. Come right to the vendor. That's the ARB opportunity. But if you don't got time to be messing with this all the time, just throw it in liquidity, baby. If you're busy, we bought 400. That's what we did. 6,000 instead of 58. What was it? 5,859 or something like that. So I just gained 141 gold by doing that. Quick, easy, easy peasy, baby. Done. Boom. Now you can do whatever with your gold. Now I was using my gold earlier. I gained so much gold in just a short period of time. I was buying up crystals with it that I needed for leveling, stuff like that. Okay. So I just wanted to give you that clear shout out here that don't be fooled. Okay, over here, like the milkweed, woo, it's in red, 94, red. And over here, it's just red 91. Is there an ARB opportunity to send items from Sarandale to Crystalville? That could happen. That could happen, but right now it's not happening. Okay, because the value of the gold is throwing this off. But if this is in green, what that means is, like earlier, the amber taffy over here, now it's in red. So you don't want to be buying the amber taffy with the trader. When it's in green, you want to buy it with the trader and then immediately sell it with the vendor into gold. Okay, earlier, this amber taffy was like at 29, it was at 29 green, 29% in green, which means I bought up like thousands of amber taffy and made it 4,200 gold profit like that, and then brought the price way down by doing that. Okay, that makes sense. There's other things. You can look at the eggs down here. You can look at the stones, the crystals. See, even the stones are here. You don't actually have to go to that other page. You look at the eggs. Like the yellow pet egg is down 18% today. And it's down 5.5% in the 6 hour window. Okay? So a bunch of people dump those because they're more expensive and then what you could even do is just dump the yellow eggs and buy green eggs, but people are wanting yellow eggs for their miners. They're more expensive. They seem to be more rare to get too for me. I don't know why. I just get way more green eggs. I mean, I guess I do have more gardeners. Yeah, I mean, that's why. I got more gardeners gardening. Because shout out to the bots, baby, the waifu bots. I can garden 19 gardens. Carlo is able to access all the retired gardens. So I can have 19 gardeners gardening at a time. And that's why. You just can't have as many miners mining. That's the main reason. Okay, but this is just good to look at from time to time. Okay? So as you can just pay attention to the market fluctuation. Okay, right here, you got the lesser stones. Okay, you got the carving cost over here, and you have the trader cost here. So as you can see, if you have stones, and I sold some wit stones earlier. The wit stones, see, they're still up. So the cost here in 2 days, I kept saying tomorrow, but in 2 days, when the stone carver comes back out, or less than 2 days now, it's going to cost in the current value of all the items 7.07 joule to carve that lesser wit stone. You can go to the trader, so it goes from the cost 7 joule. You can sell it on the trader for 12.6 joule. Earlier it was 15, and I sold a few. I also sold a couple others. Okay. Now I think you don't want to sell them all. You don't want to go overboard because tomorrow these are going to be even higher. Because the longer that stone carver is gone, and it's been almost a week at this point, the longer he's gone, the higher that those stones go up. But now that more people are catching on to this, and it's so fun, okay? So other thoughts, because you want to think ahead. People are catching on to this, and so they're selling, they're preemptively buying right now the items in order to craft with the stone carver. Because tomorrow, when everyone's able to use up all those items and craft all those stones, they're going to be like, oh, I can get some more, I can get some more stones. I just need to buy some more swift thistle. I just need to buy some more iron scale. That's one that's up to, the price is up today. So what's going to happen is you just need a few more iron scale to craft a few more stones. You got everything else, so people could have to go buy the iron scale on the trader. So you want to preemptively buy the items right now and while the stone carver's on vacation, you want to be buying the items. When the stone carver comes back, you either just want to sell the items or you want to, already have the items bought ahead of time so that you then can craft the stones. You might have an immediate ARB opportunity right when he comes out if you're right Johnny on it, right on it. You can boom craft stones and sell them real quick on the trader, but then they're going to come down on the trader. okay? And it's not going to be profitable to do anymore. So then hold a bunch of stones and then wait for that hiatus to come again, where the stone carver's checked out, he's gone. Who knows what he's doing? When that happens, then you have more people buying, okay, needing to buy those stones. And sometimes people overkill, sell those stones on the trader, and you'll see it go below the value, and then you can actually buy it on the trader. Sometimes that happens where the cost to carve the stone is actually like 7 joule, but the cost to buy it is 6 joule. That's when you definitely want to buy it, because that's going to go back up to 12 or 15 joule. Okay, when it just means somebody sold too much. That happens. That's how those ARB opportunities happen. Okay, boom. What else? You can look at. There's so many good things. Crystals, you can kind of see where they're at. So when I see something way down, I go buy. Right now, you got the Vigor crystal is way up. Like, dang, it's up 31%. Someone went on there and bought a bunch of those. Okay, I bought some earlier, not a ton, not enough to drive that up. That's crazy. The other day, these Vigor crystals, lesser Vigor crystals, were down below 1 joule. They actually hit that. Below 1 joule, baby. Love it. The Mite stones always seem to be up, but anything around 1 joule or less, man, home run. I love that. Okay. And you can also, so I did go earlier with all this extra gold I got. I went and bought some regular crystals. Just 2, actually. A Wit. See, look, it's only at 10 joule. And Insight crystal is at 10 joule. Bought 1 of each. Especially the Insight's way down today. Okay. So somebody dumped a bunch. Sold a bunch. Really, the regular Fortune crystal, it's pretty cheap too. Anything really at 15 joule is pretty good. But you got Vigor at 22, you got Swiftness at 15 is okay, Finesse is at 14, and the regular Mite crystal's at 20.9 joule. It's getting a little more pricey. But man, those are just so good to have for your really jacked heroes for PvP. It's nice to have a few of those for your mythic heroes, your Dread Knights, your Dragoons, your Sages, your mythic guys, especially advanced class mythic and legendary heroes. It's great to have those. Okay, sometimes you can just smash. Just like I just did though with my lesser crystal. I love it. Okay. Oh, and one thing I meant to mention earlier. One thing that the Brown Gent said, shout out to him, that I kept forgetting to mention, I don't know why, is that if you have Gen 0 heroes or just really any heroes, one thing I'm really strongly considering, now that I have so many heroes, and I want to accumulate more jewel and more crystal right now. I'm not even though you can't go wrong just summoning those as fast as possible, but he's saying, those 10 out of 10 Gen 1s in the tavern are at a low right now, like a local low. They're down to like 90 joule. Okay, normally they're going for like 120 joule, stuff like that. So he's been renting out his summons. So if you rent out your summons, you go to the tavern, rent out those summons, baby. This is important. Okay, so you can list hero for hire, right? So I could, oh, this guy's ready to summon. I need to summon this guy. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. This Knight and Warrior combo. Should we summon it on live? Okay, but what I could do, so before you do that, what you're gonna wanna do, okay, is you're gonna want to, actually, that's what I meant to do, is come here to the portal. Okay, I like this music, baby. Okay, when you come to the portal, you hit hire a hero. And so I'm gonna search a Knight that's a Gen 0. Oh, I hate it when it does this. It's killing me. Killing me. Ugh. Stupid game. Killing me. Hate it when that happens. It's been working a little better lately. Okay, so I just want to look at the floor of what a Knight Gen 0 is. Yes, it worked that time. Okay. So the floor, higher price, 40. 40 joule, 40 here. Okay. So that's not a ton. That's something to consider, though. That's another way how your Gen 0s can, and you don't want to have your guys sitting in here a long time. You don't want to, because you want to use up, so you want to be cheap. Okay, now my Knight is a legendary. Okay, you can look at that too. Let's just look at it. So the Knight floor price legendary. So can't remember which is which on mine. I would go like, in my case, I'd probably list my knight for like 48 jewel. If it's the legendary. If it's a rare, I'd probably go like 39. I maybe even go, yeah, I don't know. So you do, because you want to be the one that people use. Now, obviously, the level matters for the guy at tiers. People look at all that. The profession matters. Okay, they're going to be looking at all that. All that matters. But you want to be cheap so it goes quick. Then the 72 hours or however long, passes by, you can do it again. Okay, so let's look at the warrior. I say we summon, baby. Okay, and the only reason why I have them here on the Serendale is because one of them is, oh wow, look at this, cheap. So he must have just okay, 30. Interesting. He's only summoned this thing 5 times. That is, what the heck? And he's level 11. He didn't just do a reroll. Couldn't have. He just hasn't been leveling this, or been summoning this guy. Interesting. This is an especially good deal because not only is the higher price the cheapest, but the summoning fee is cheap for a Gen 0. It's not 30 like everybody else. That's interesting, people. But man, so no point in me putting my hero up for higher, right? What's the point of that? I don't want to. Nobody's going to beat that. So let's go summon. Do I have enough jewel is the question. I do. That's right. So I just bought some jewel. Okay. Let's do this, baby. Let's summon. I love it. So the only Gen 0s that I have on this is because one of the pairs is a gardener. It's the only reason, and I'm too lazy to switch them back and forth. Okay. Check this out. This warrior and knight. Okay, the knight is a gardener, which is unfortunate, but they're not bad gardeners. And then the paladin is a really good gardener. He's the second best gardener in the game. The paladin is. But the paladin isn't a great forager at all. He's a dreadful forager. But the warrior is a decent forager. I wanted miners forever. Gen 0 miners. I wanted a pair of miners, but they're just not available. Oh, I would love to have warrior, knight, miners, especially legendary. That'd be a dream come true. Okay, still got some stones. Okay, so we're going for a paladin. There is, believe it or not, like a 12% chance or so, I think, for the paladin, or for this summoned hero to be a miner. There's a decent chance for a miner, but the better chance is for the gardener. And then the second best chance is a forager, third best chance is a miner. But I always just like to go vitality. Vitality, especially with these guys. Okay, vitality is like the best stone you can have in the game. Like absolutely the best stone is vitality stone. Because it's going to help the HP, it's going to really help the hero for PvP, and there's good chance, top chance, really, I think, is a gardener on this. Summon. Make sure you use those guy tiers, baby. We're going to have a dex, we're going to have a vitality, hit. Extra stat point plus 4 vitality stat points. Boom. Can't wait till these guys are level 10. Like my mythic thief, Fisher, Gen 0, level 11, baby. Ooh, so sexy. All right, is this gonna work? It's not working. Maybe ran into bot issues there. So you just gotta fight through it. Clear all, I always just do that. You don't necessarily even have to do that. I'm just OCD. Okay, come on, baby. Let's do this. I love it. Man, that is really interesting. It's so cheap to hire out that warrior. You know what? Let's have some fun here. Let's switch this up. Hire a warrior. I think it's a warrior Gen 0. Pretty sure it was a warrior. Yes. What is this guy? That's a no-brainer. Goodness gracious, that's so cheap. It's a gardener. Hey, let's do it. Boom. Boom. And he's level 11. Goodness gracious. Such a home run. I'm paying 16 extra jewel is all. We're doing... Then we'll... And the other ones were cheap too. But that just helps increases my rarity chance as well. And gardening, we're going to go with this. Amazing. Okay. I'm glad I checked that. And hey, guess what? On this DFK Quester thing, you can look at all that stuff. This is such a phenomenal tool. I was wanting to show you guys a couple things there too. Okay, that's probably going to be another video though. I'm going to have a whole video just on that tool with the dev, with Born to Die at 007. Booyah. Love it. We got, what do we have today? We have Kentucky bourbon today, baby. It's Friday night. That's like my first sip. We hit a pirate. How interesting is that? Oh my gosh. It's a mining pirate. Hey. So interesting. Wasn't even a gardener. We just went gardener. That's phenomenal, actually. So that's great. We'll take that all day long. Mining is the pirate's best profession. So, because you got strength and endurance, 125 when you add those two together. Okay. I love it. Pirate's not really good at much. He's an okay fisher. Pretty good fisher, especially since there's not very many good fishers. Okay. If you're using the stones and the crystals, can help you. Oh, and yeah, he's good with vitality. So we added. And the blue hit with vitality. What did the green hit on? Intelligence, okay, not so good. But the blue plus the stone. So look at this vitality down here. The subclass is just a wizard. But look, the vitality subclass, 21.5%. It's pretty good. We'll take it. All right, now, dismiss. Sometimes it's good just to refresh. Okay, but now we're going to do this warrior. Okay, and we're going to do a knight. Oh, did I not hire? I thought I did hire. Okay, so these knight Gen Zeros. This is only 10 extra. This is only 10 extra. Okay. For the rarity increase, I just like the chances. Okay, so we got a gardener and another gardener. That's a level 3 gardener though, so we're definitely doing the level 9. This guy's level 9, 9, 8, 9, 8. This guy is level 10 for, what is he? Get to use those extra Gaia tiers. Is it worth spending 9 jewel for the more Gaia tiers? Probably not. No. And it's a gardener. They're all gardeners. All right, we'll go with this one. Is it worth spending the 10 jewel, 10 extra jewel for the legendary versus the rare? It's 110 to summon this guy. Maybe not. Maybe not. Summon fee's all the same. That was so crazy to see that summon fee. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's tempting, but I'm not going to do it. I think I'd rather save my jewel. That jewel is like gold, baby. We're going to see Jewel Moon someday. It's coming. Okay. So we got level 9. We got gardening, and mining. Ooh, I like mining. Let's do mining. All right. This guy's the forager. So we spent 5 extra jewel for the mining chances. I like that, though. I'd rather... Let's do vitality again. Because I just like vitality. Okay. Or we could do strength. Let's do strength. This one. Let's do strength, baby. All right, 105. Okay. And I would, go to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms or next DFK Hero and look at my summoning chances, but because I'm doing the video, I'm too lazy. I'm tired. Tired, baby. It took me like 2 hours to do that damn thumbnail on the last one. But hey, and I was maybe going to try, I was going to start, I sat down, did my list, I'm preparing to do my DeFi Kingdoms for Beginners videos. Probably be between a 7 to 10 series of videos for DeFi Kingdoms for Beginners, like all things beginners, like someone who knows nothing about crypto. How can they get in this game? Okay, I'm going to do it. It'll be like a 7 to 10 video series, probably a 10 video series, and just structured. Okay, and I'm drawing out the game plan. I'm planning on starting that tomorrow, I think. It's so important for adoption because it's not easy. MetaMask wallet and all this nonsense with crypto, it'll be a huge deal when, dang, basic foraging instead of a mining. Bummer. Okay, it's all right though. And it's a knight instead of a warrior for foraging. Warriors are better foragers. Bummer. But hey, it's all good. We'll take it. Okay. I need to get that miner off this account. Okay, I'll figure that out. Crypto Grady out. I love you guys, baby. We're gonna keep going. We're going to keep putting out the content. We need adoption. We need new people coming into this game, especially now. Not when it spikes and it's all the hype's happening. We need people to come in now when they get good buys. It's a great time to get into this game because prices are low, baby. Bear market. Now's the time to get in. Now's when the money's made. I love it. Okay, Crypto Grady out. I absolutely love you guys.